How's it everyone? Lawrence here from Pretoria in South Africa, ready to share the story of how what began as a disastrous start to our holiday turned into an unforgettable adventure through Namibia, thanks to some incredible people we met along the way. And just to be clear, this isn't sponsored in any way, even though I'll mention those who helped us more than once in this video. We kicked off our Namibia adventure right on schedule, 16 December, 4 AM, packed up and ready to go with my brother and his family. From the photos and videos of the Namibia and other trips we'll share, you'll quickly get to know our little zoo. For now, here's the lineup. In my family, we are 7 people. Though my oldest son couldn't join us as he's already working, my amazing wife, Lizanne, was with me along with our 4 boys, Tian and Manu, both 16 years old, Ruard 14, and little John 7 years old. Yes, we have 5 boys. My brother and his wife came with their 2 kids, Dylan, who's also 16, and Zuane, who's also 14. Our first stop was Agrabis. It's about 1,000 kilometers from Pretoria. We got there at around 4 PM in the rain, chilled for a bit, and then went to see the waterfalls before calling it a night at about 9. But day 2 is where the story really shifted. We had a 5-hour drive to Canyon Roadhouse, so after packing up early, we headed for the Onseepkans border. The crossing was smooth and stress-free, and honestly, Namibians are some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet. Less than an hour into Namibia, things went horribly wrong. We hit a ditch and the caravan pulled the car off to the side. From there, it was chaos. I was just trying to keep control. In the mirror, I saw the caravan sliding up next to us and told my wife, "There goes the caravan." I couldn't watch as it rolled, broke free from the tow bar and finally landed on its side. Just to clear things up, we weren't speeding, it's a 100 zone and we were going at about 85 to 90 kilometers an hour. The caravan also wasn't too heavy for the car. After stopping, I called my brother to let him know what happened and they immediately turned back to come and help us. Just as my brother got back, 2 proper Namibian farmers came past, which turned out to also be 2 brothers. They'd been out on the farm watching grasshoppers with their binoculars and decided to take a quick drive down the road. Honestly, they were a godsend. They headed off to fetch their cruiser and some tools to try and fix the caravan's twisted hitch, which meant it couldn't be towed. While they were gone, my brother managed to use our recovery gear to pull the caravan back onto its wheels. We started unpacking whatever we could save, tossing clothes into black bags, etc., and that's not a great feeling at all. The farmers came back, we fixed the hitch, loaded all the black bags onto the cruiser, and they hooked up the caravan, telling us that they will take it to Karasburg to Unforgettable, where all the broken cars end up. While all this chaos was unfolding, my wife drove to Karasburg to call the insurance and her dad, David Supra. He was a huge help. And with my sister-in-law making a few calls, they managed to find us accommodation. Funny enough, it turned out to be right where we were already standing with the caravan. Sunset Chalets with Unforgettable. So we checked into chalet number 5, which became our base for the next 3 nights while we figured out what to do next. Just a quick note on insurance. If you're heading out of South Africa, make sure you've got out of Africa cover. It saved us, organizing a pickup for the caravan and helping with our stay in Karasburg. Meanwhile, my sister-in-law, Cindy Supra, lined up a trailer so we could pack up and head home if needed. But here's where the real stars of the trip come in. Heidelberg Conqueror. You guys were lifesavers and are truly the best. My father-in-law got a hold of someone there, and after hearing what had happened, they were more than willing to assist and immediately stepped in with their last rental unit. This was on 18 December, so they were closed already for the holidays. Yet, still went out of their way to help us. Someone went into the office, completed all the paperwork for cross-border travel, and insurance, and my father-in-law collected the Conqueror. The next day, my parents-in-law delivered the Conqueror to Arnhemsvlei border post, a much busier crossing than Onseepkans, and just like that, our journey was back on track. We packed it that evening, and by the 20th, we were finally able to reunite with my brother and his family at Sosa's Oasis, where they were staying for 2 nights and we joined them for the last one. The drive there was about 8 hours with a few stops, so it was manageable. Although we missed some of the campsites they had already visited, including some attractions like Spitzkoppe, which we were especially excited to see, we made a plan to fit it in at the end of the trip. If you're ever in Namibia, Deadvlei is a must-see. Thanks to Heidelberg Conqueror, we got to tick it off our bucket list. After that, we headed to Tiger Reef Camp in Swakopmund. And being a bit overconfident, we took on Dune 7. Let's just say the kids showed us up big time and reminded us how unfit we actually are. On the 24th, we ticked off another bucket list item, Spitzkoppe. And wow, it was breathtaking. We even enjoyed a sundowner at the arch, which was the perfect way to end the day. The next morning, we headed to Etosha, a must for anyone who loves the wild. We arrived in the rain, which became a current story, and the next few days turned into proper wet weather camping. We spent 3 nights in Okaukueju, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, and 2 in Alali. It was the first real test for the Conqueror Caravan, with roads closed and heavy rainfalls, but it handled everything perfectly. Even after 2 massive downpours in Alali, not a single leak. All the compartments stayed bone dry. Honestly, no complaints at all. Next up was Tambila Camp, a wild camp with no fences, and honestly, it was the toughest part of the trip. But the Conqueror didn't let us down. Even with 3 water crossings where the water came up past the base of the vehicle, we had no issues. We rolled in with rain again and got hit by a huge storm on the 31st. Since Tambila is wild camping with elephants and lions around, and yes, we heard them roaring in the mornings and found prints about 1 kilometer away, all 6 of us slept in the Conqueror. The 3 big boys took the top bed, while my wife, our 7-year-old, and myself shared the bottom. Remarkably, there was enough space for everyone, even those stretched out on their backs. From Tambila, we began 3 days of long travels. On the first, we headed to Quiver Tree Forest, a 9-hour journey with stops for fuel and stretching our legs. This was another bucket list destination, and as the sun set, we captured some beautiful family photos and enjoyed our last evening together as a group before parting ways the following morning. The next morning, we were up, packed and ready by 6:30 and kicked things off by singing Happy Birthday to my brother before hitting the road. We headed to Spitzkoppe, which we'd missed earlier in the trip, while their next destination was a Grabies again. With the Conqueror loaded, it was 4 hours to Spitzkoppe and then another 6 back to Karasburg, where we checked back into Chalet 5 at Sunset Chalets, the same place our Namibia adventure had started. Spitzkoppe was honestly one of the highlights of the trip, and if you're ever in Namibia, it's a must-see. Back in Karasburg, we stopped at Spar to grab some of the amazing cheese balls for a braai, and the next morning, we left at 4:30. We met up with my brother and his family in Uppington, and from there, we all travelled home together, ending the trip on a high note. So that's our story, a holiday that started off in the worst way imaginable, went through moments of total despair, but ended with amazing memories and a great finish. None of it would have been possible without the help of Heidelberg Conqueror. This was just a quick run through our Namibia trip, but if you would like to see the full videos of the trip, as well as our other adventures, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.